So with intellectual property, I want you to imagine that sometimes a founder has been working on something before the company is created. Well, that intellectual property needs to be clear who owns that and if it is transferred, against what value. That's a really important thing. And it's not just the founders and employees, it's all the third parties that you might touch upon. Advisors, vendors. If you have like a development team that's offshore, your IP assignment with them, very, very important. So why this becomes important is if you are taking a position that you have built a system, you've built an application, you've written the code, and that it behaves as a platform with certain business characteristics and makes a bunch of money, has future growth ambitions. What you'll notice is like, oh, it does this thing and it's going to grow. Let's say that it is a great product and it has great growth potential. You could basically throw all those arguments out with a venture capital firm if you've got really poor intellectual property assignment for the actual code, for the working system. And what I mean by that is, it doesn't matter if it's great. It doesn't matter if it makes a lot of money. You don't own it. So you cannot make it part of your valuation. So you cannot raise the funds that you wish to do. So classic thing would be, hey, we're two non-tech founders. We offshored and outsourced the building of the platform, and you've gone to raise money and you realize, oh my gosh, we don't own it. So what are the investors buying in that situation? Well, they don't have a platform to buy. And this is where what you see is, as we go through this list, and we're only like 4 out of the 10 here. But as we go to IP, you can, forget the cap table. You don't have anything to sell if you haven't got the IP nicely packaged. What's really important is that you have those earlier documents, which is agreements around the shares, but you then need certificates and board approvals. This rigor is really important because not only do the early documents say we promise to give this if you do X, Y, and Z, what this cap table facility is doing, and there's like whole software platforms that just manage cap table, is they make sure that the certificates and relevant approvals are noted, that there is a ledger against those. So you are absolutely watertight on saying we promised you X, we issued you X, and it was approved by the board, by the constitution of this company. So we're in a very solid, rigorous, traceable situation on the legalities of equity and intellectual property. These are the things that float through those legal docs.